evening, all. I'm Epstein, and here we are with your SPDR ETF stock market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is for Monday, the 24th of June, 2024. An interesting day, to say the least. A mixed bag in the stock indices. You know, I've been telling traders in my morning subscriber video that I saw a rotation happening where the stocks that had AI were slipping, the stock indices mainly, those made up of the S&P and the NASDAQ, and there was a rotation at that point to come out of short positions in the Dow and the Russell, and that's been basically what's been going on in here. I'm not convinced either of these markets are really in bull manner, but I think more of a bounce. Again, NVIDIA down. Now remember, this was a $140 stock recently. So here we are down in the market, $22. So you're, what, about a 14%, 15% drop in value. Will it go to 20 or more? Could. There's already on CNBC all kinds of talk about comparing it to Cisco back in the 90s, and you'll recall, I was around for that. Cisco would go up and then get 20% or more corrections and then go back up and make new highs. So it became part of it until the market eventually peaked out and it found a value, and then Cisco really lost a lot of money in value. Will that be the case for NVIDIA? I don't know. Right now, you know, everybody's saying let it drop. Maybe $100 is the spot that traders are just throwing out there and saying that they come back in. TLT getting bids, as are BND. Finally, a correction hitting in Amazon. I've been wanting to see that. It's interesting. I was watching Disney and some of the others because of how well that child movie is going on, and it brought in another $100 million. What is it, Inside Out or one of those things? And you're correct. I don't have any young children, so I'm not up on that. But it's phenomenal. I mean, come on, $240 million in 2 weeks is big. It's I don't recall that for one of these animated movies. It's huge, all right? Don't underestimate that. That's a powerful move. Boeing. Would you think they can't bring back the Starliner, I guess it is, that the government, the Justice Department, is asking now that they be prosecuted, Boeing, and fines maybe up to $25 billion in the stock rallies? It tells you a story. When nothing but bear news keeps coming out and the market goes up, it tells you that probably a good shot that a bottom is in place in the market. You had a rally that I expected in copper. You had lost the bearish embedded reading, and I was looking for it to go back to the 18-day average. And believe me, I had my doubts, and I'm watching it, and it did it today. It went where I thought. Tesla down another 40 cents. A lot of people still talking are the best plays Uber and Lyft for automated driving. Who knows? It's a long way off. Now this week we're doing RSP, which is Invesco's S&P 500 equal weight ETF. This came in from one of you. I did write on my YouTube to please give us a call. Haven't heard from the person yet. I'll write him again. This fund seeks to replicate as closely as possible before fees and expenses the performance of an equal weighted S&P. So it's not taking certain ones and giving them a heavier weight within the index, which is what the typical S&P 500 index does. So you have to look at that. And as you can see, it did not go up to the highs of April. We know that the S&P just keeps climbing. In the futures market, if they closed tonight, just closed, they were up at an all-time high. But again, that's with the weighting of AI in there. This is everything in the index. I guess they divide it by the 500, and that's how you get to it. When I look at the chart action, higher lows, higher highs. So traders will look at this, and if this trend holds and it can come out of here, they'll say there's been a rotation, this is healthy for market action, and there's more upside to come. We'll see if that works out. But you've got the up pattern, and you're in it unless you take out 164.62. The market is fighting and has been fought a battle for a while at this 18-day average of closes. Can it finally move away from it? Until you take out Friday's low, my instincts are strong. That traders will buy the market on breaks, which stops under that low. If it takes it out, they'll go back to the drawing board. But here's where your problem is. What is the upper Bollinger Band? 166.33. Today's high, 166.57. You've already hit the upside resistance. So can it go anywhere out of there becomes the question. Eventually, the narrowness of the bands, it's like a spring inside, and it's spinning around and it's generating kinetic power. It's going to break out one way or the other. Can it do it here? That becomes the big question. You know, only 5% of the time do you get above or under the Bollinger Band, but when they narrow in like that, they have to break out and get above or below it because they won't stay in this pattern indefinitely. They're going to move away from that. You saw a little bit of that here, and then the market started pushing on the band, moving it higher. You are in overbought territory, so I do think that the pros that might have gone long this market were taking money off the table at that band today. Then we come to the Schwab U.S. Dividend Equity ETF, and no, it's not Schwab. They created it, that's why their name's in it. But a lower low, higher high, fighting at the upper band here too. See, if you're going to move out of this band that you can call a bit narrow, it's not super narrow, but a bit, you have to get out of it and run. But when you're overbought, let the other guy carry it and prove it can go. It's generally you get thrown back. In Nike, something new for us, the market has come alive. Now, this was a market that has spent a lot of time, first off, in declines that carried into April when the market got here about the 87 level, and it suddenly added about 10–15% in value. It's at the Bollinger Band. It gets thrown back from there, but I see support at 94.93. The question is, can it stay over the 100-day average and add to it? And because it's overbought, another one of these where I let the other guy carry it. I think the pros have taken some money off the table. They beat down Rivian just recently, and it's coming back to say, okay, I'm back coming up for you at the 114 area. If you can get, I'm sorry, at the 1114 area. If you can get over 1121, you negate the downtrend, but you've got resistance at 1133. Again, you're developing sideways action in here in this market. In Freeport, you came off Bollinger Bands. You came from a market that got itself pretty oversold. I'll show you this. Did it ever embed is the better question. So follow me. Both numbers not under 20. Both under 20. Both under 20. Both under 20. If you get a reading over 21 on a close, the odds favor you're going to go up to the 18-day average of closes since it's the closest moving average. Day one where it occurred. Backed away, playing games with it on Friday. And I'm telling traders, I think this market's going to make a run to these numbers, and you made your run. Okay. So it did the same in copper itself, COPX, by the way. In Linn, lower highs, lower lows. So we're seeing that Linn and companies like them, they actually have a backlog of people with homes. Some of these companies are like KB. They're building some spec homes. The question is, do you want to have a lot of them on hand or a little of them, fewer of them? I think it's fewer. So, the market has come down into the Bollinger Band. Now the question is, what next? It is oversold, so I don't think it's attracting new short money. It's hit the Bollinger Band last Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You're getting a bounce. Resistance should be around the 155 level. In the home builders, as we look at this, you can see how the market came up. Now, the last rally high here was 104.67. You got to 61 today, couldn't quite take it out. And notice what the battle is. See the 18-day average in red and in green, the 100? They're fighting right through here. Which way is it going to come out? Your guess is as good as mine. In XLF, we've gone from a lower band to an upper band. That's where I think the pros are coming out. I thought they came out here, and I said that to you against the 100-day average and the lower Bollinger Band. And now I think up at here, I think you're running to big resistance for the time being. In the industrial sector, again, You've gone from the lower band and in 7 days or so to the upper band. Very hard to catch trades like that because there's nothing in here. The bands keep narrowing and you're not going anywhere just yet. In the energy sector, it's been a surprise to me that the energies have been able to pick up the way they have. The market is anticipating what I shared with you now for 2 months. I said that as the countries begin the cutting of interest rates, which we have seen, the market will start anticipating fuel demand because you cut interest rates to spur on the economy, not you raise interest rates to shut the economy down, or you keep them high to do that to shut the economy down. But when you start lowering them, you're looking for increased demand that's there. The problem is the biggest buyer of it, China, is still seeing a shrinkage. So is this for real? Well, you assume it is until now with an outside day up. Today's low is taken out. Next target could be the upper Bollinger Band here. In the gold market, well, you got to bounce into the 18-day average of closes. The market's sort of in no man's land right here. It's trying to pick up and run. I'm disappointed that it hasn't. If it does, the upper Bollinger Band of 219.21 is important, and you really don't want to take out the low right over here. That's the low I don't want to see taken out again. In the silver market, we keep trying rallies and getting thrown back once we get over that 18-day average of closes in red. It's just not ready to do anything just yet. You know, eventually you try enough times, you succeed. So we'll see what goes there. In the copper market, I was looking for a rally when you lost the bearish embedded reading. I got it. That's all it owed me. I'm not seeing China buying more. I'm not hearing that they've initiated a new plan to make infrastructure and housing improve. I'm seeing the plans they have not working, so I am concerned, and that's the resistance point for the time being. Now, what is the U.S. going to do for interest rates? If they're going to drop here, TLT going higher, and so is BND. You're in uptrends until you take out 1934 and you're embedded. So as long as that's in play, I've still got 95.88 as a potential target. In the dollar index, you've been in an uptrend, you got up to the upper band and you're pulling back, and you could embed here fairly soon, which means FXE, well, it's not even trying to embed, which is a surprise. It's got lower highs, lower lows, and very oversold. Going to be a difficult market one way or the other with that. So it's interesting. It's summertime. We know that this is more of a trading affair now than a trending affair. We know that we've seen a change in the stock market, certainly in the AI stocks. Pay attention to that. It's not that it's bearish. If you didn't catch one of the moves, it's probably going to come down and give you opportunities. So when we did our futures trading kit, we tried to put in this what a lot of you need: guidelines, different courses, charting software that you can give it a try with. As you get all this, it starts, I hope, to make sense and make you a better market technician. It's a lot of tools for the beginners of you. The 14 chart patterns that I think are the most important that show up over and over on different charts. The pivot point and my Arun indicator courses, both free, both videos, shows you how they work, and many of you have on your charting software already all that. My cause and effect sheet, I created this when I wanted to know what M1, M2, and M3 was doing. Links to all the CME groups, different catalog courses. How do you get it? It is free. Go to iraepstein.com, look at the top left, free offers, or move your cursor up here. You'll see an icon, give that one a click. I'm Ira. You have yourself a good evening. I'll catch up with you first thing in the morning.